SOS Limited stock dropped big time today, 30%, and this was actually following bad news. Well, bad news if you look at this the wrong way, because it's really a good thing, and that's exactly what I want to talk in this video, right? So jumping to the chart, SOS Limited stock, the Bitcoin miner and Ethereum miner, do not forget, they mine both cryptocurrencies. Today disclosed that they were actually raising cash, $90 million, as you can read here on this article from Madly Fool. $90 million by going through what we call a private placement. Pretty much it means we're gonna sell this amount of shares to a party, to a company, to somebody, and we're gonna stick a specific price to that cash raising initiative, all right? But in this case, they actually priced this direct offer at a point which was way lower than the actual share price, because before the latest close of SOS was 211, so they priced this at 175, meaning they were willing to sell X amount of shares at 175 to a private investor in order to raise $90 million. So whenever you do have such private placement or direct offering, it means you are increasing the amount of shares already existing, hence diluting the share price. Think of it like we are 10. Let's say we are 4, all right? We are 4 and we need to share a pie. Pecan pie, my favorite. So if we are 4, it means we have 4 slices and each slice go to everybody. Now, when somebody comes in, let's say 2 more people come in, that makes up 6, all right? 6 of us means my pie, the slice I was supposed to get if we were just 4, is gonna be smaller, all right? So that's why direct offer tend to spook lots of people and they get out, all right? But actually getting into postpone the offer, getting into the further, the future of the company. Yesterday, I shared with you, and the timing was not kind of good, but still good, because they mentioned that they were actually making progress on building and setting up the Wisconsin operations here in the US, which will help them increase the hash power into Bitcoin to 1,000 PH. Now, I believe personally, even though the company has not disclosed this, but anytime, especially with Bitcoin miners or cryptocurrency miners, typically this is the way they fund the operations in order to grow and get bigger. Because if you are to open, a huge warehouse, for example, exactly like Marathon Digital has been doing for the last months, to make sure they have enough computer, they have enough space and enough energy pretty much to build the operations, all right? So that's the exact same thing Marathon Digital did. That's the exact same thing lots of crypto miners did in the past. So it's a good thing to actually have SOS raising this money, because it means they want to grow. It means they have ambition. It means there is a future of the company. Now, on the short term, it is not good, because it means dilution, as I shared with you earlier, but it also attracts more short selling pressure. And that's why so far, if you look at the share price here, this is a company this is a stock that used to be trading at $15. So 15 to 1.5, it's a pretty good dilution, all right? But going back to what this should be looked in a positive if you are an investor in SOS. Well, 2 things. As anything, there are 2 sides of any story. There are 2 sides of any coin. The positive one is if you're a long-term investor, right? Pretty much like I am in SOS. I'm here to cash out in Bitcoin when it's gonna be trading at $1 million a coin. Because at $1 million a coin, miners are gonna make so much money, especially if they have time to actually make sure the process is pretty well refined and up to date, and by then they'll have time to also diversify in other type of activity, which is already the case for SOS Limited. So long term, it's definitely a very good thing for the company, even though it's a Chinese company. But the fact that they are moving operations here in the US it's very, very bullish for the stock. But keep in mind, this has to be long term, all right? Because as now that they will have money to actually show the market and investors that they are doing the right thing quarter after quarter after quarter, they will have time to go back to mining. They haven't quit mining, okay? Just that building these operations prevent them from actually be fully operating at the level they want to, right? Which is not the case with the Mara and the Riot and the BDB and the others, the Bitfarms, for example. So short term, which is the other side of the coin, if you are here for short term, you may as well get your shares and get out, all right? Even if it's a loss, which I believe it's for a lot of us holding SOS so far, just write it off. Just write it off on your tax return next year. Say, hey, I bought this SOS company stock, I lost some money, and boom, you're gonna get some write-offs based off of that. Now, to end, my conclusion is, personally, when I bought this, it was really for the long term, all right? It hurts. It hurts seeing being down 70% because my average cost here is around 540, and I've been averaging down 3 to 4 times, all right? So my 10,000 worth of investment here is now worth 3,000, all right? So I'm not scared just because I strongly believe in the future, not only for the company, but also where Bitcoin and Ethereum are headed to. Is going to be worth, this company is going to go back to the $15 a share, even more as time comes. But I have patience, you know, I'm really willing to keep this even for the next 2 years, if that's the time it would take for me to actually be in the green and make some serious cash into this position. All right, because as I'm trading and investing in other sectors, in other stocks, well, I'm going to be getting some gains. I'm going to be having some more money that I'm going to eventually put into this stock in order to average down, because SOS is not my only position. I also have positions into Can stock, into Riot, into Marathon Digital Mara, and some other Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other altcoins. So in crypto, I'm well diversified for the moment. So just to say, guys, it really depends on what your initial strategy was getting into SOS to begin with. So I hope it helps alleviate a little bit of the pressure based on what the share price did today.